Okay, today I'd like to do something different. Today I'd like to watch Q&A with you. I've picked out a couple of clips from Q&A so you don't have to, and I'll make comment on each clip. If you'd like, could you please like and subscribe? I'm told that's something I have to ask you to do, so today I'm begging you to like and subscribe. But anyway, let's jump into this Q&A thing straight away. I've tried to do this 3 times today, but I have no idea how to use the software I'm using. I'm just brute forcing it basically because that's how I learn. I hope over time the videos get better and my presentation gets better and my skill with using a computer gets better. Please understand and have sympathy for somebody who left school at the age of 13. But anyway, let's jump into this Q&A thing. I hope to be doing this every single Tuesday, and I hope to have a video out every Tuesday at 9 a.m. on Q&A. Eventually I'd like to have live streaming of me watching it and recording because my reactions to Q&A live are great entertainment. Even my dog runs away to the back room because I shout at the TV so much. But anyway, let's jump into this.
Okay. Feeling good, feeling nervous. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I did one of the first Q&As many years ago.
Albo's
When you were a
feeling
young
good.
man.
It's always good to engage with people through programs like this.
I agree. All right. Are you ready to go? Let's go. Let's get started. Our first question is from Macy Chowdhury. Hi, Macy.
Hi, Patricia. Good evening, Prime Minister.
Hi, Macy.
I'm a migrant woman. Pardon me, my nerves are getting the better of me. I'm a migrant woman to Australia and a single mother, having moved to Melbourne 15 years ago. I'm also a survivor of family violence and live with a disability as a result.
Now, I'd just like to point out what that very strong woman just did then was put a preamble to a question. And the reason she put a preamble to that question and explained her circumstance and why she's in this circumstance is people that live in poverty always feel, and this is a societal problem, society made it like this, but people in poverty, when they talk of their poverty, always feel they have to explain the reasons that they're in poverty. Just one thing to everybody who's poor out there, you don't have to explain why you're poor. You don't have to feel guilty about it. If you go around feeling guilty about it, they win. Chances are you're poor because the system needs to have poor people, and like me, you're just one of the unlucky people who happen to pull the poor straw. But that was a preamble. The question's coming. It's very important to note that.
The child of a single parent household yourself and the leader of the ruling party, what policies will you change so other citizens like me don't have to choose between meeting the needs of their children or themselves?
Now, did you hear that question? What policies will you change so that citizens like me, not me, but her, don't have to choose between providing for their child or providing for themselves? Meaning she's missing meals so that her child can eat. She's missing meals so that she can pay electricity so that her child can have hot water so that her child can have hot showers and baths. She probably has health issues because of malnutrition just so that her child doesn't. These are the true heroes of our country, by the way. Now listen to the answer that Albo gives to the question. What are you going to do so that I can feed my child?
Well, firstly, can I say thank you for the bravery that you're showing in telling your story on a show like this about who you are and your experience, and it sounds pretty tough. I grew up in a single-parent household. There was just me and Mum, and she was an invalid pensioner.
And he went to one of Sydney's best high schools, and he went to Sydney's best university, and these two stories don't line up.
One of the things that I did in the first budget we handed down was restore the single parenting payment, so that payments, instead of when you're young.
This I will give Albo credit for.
Just one. How old is
9.
he or she?
This
9.
seriously
Well,
changed
little girl,
people's
Hayley,
lives. It's
love of
something
my
I
life.
forgot about
That's
until
fantastic.
today.
And I
So
mean, that's the important thing. What's important in a family is love. And I'm sure that you give little Hayley unconditional love like my mum gave me. And
that is one thing I will give Labor credit for, is taking mutual obligations away from single mothers until your child's 14. Mutual obligations shouldn't exist anyway, and what the hell has Labor done to stop mutual obligations? They actually agree with mutual obligations.
we upped the age from 8. It would have cut out any single parenting payment if that's what you were eligible for. Now the youngest child is 14. Now that will make an enormous difference. It has made a difference to more than 70,000 single mums, making sure that they can prioritise looking after their children if they aren't in a position to work. On disability, of course, we have the National Disability Insurance Scheme. That's something that we're really proud of. That's important in looking after people, but also looking after society as well, making sure people aren't left behind. The story of domestic violence that you speak of is one that's too prevalent.
Okay. Albo, making sure people aren't left behind. Every single social security payment is below the Henderson poverty line. The fact that those payments are below the Henderson poverty line means that we have intergenerational poverty. Until you fix that issue, you can't close any gaps. You won't do anything. You won't fix anything about mental illness. You won't fix anything about domestic violence or anything like that, because for as long as you have over 1 million people in Australia living in the dysfunction that poverty creates, you're going to have all of the other issues that dysfunction makes happen, plus all the extra health issues, plus all the issues you have with children not having proper educations. Have you ever been to a school in a poor, impoverished area, Albo? Bet not, because you sure as hell didn't go to any as a kid. Somehow you managed to avoid all that stuff. That's the story I want to know about you. How the hell did you get from Housing Commission to where you are? How did you become, at the age of your early 20s, to be the most powerful numbers man in the New South Wales Labor Party? So powerful you were in the New South Wales Labor Party that when Four Corners did a report on branch stacking, everyone talked about you in whispers. You wouldn't appear on camera, and it seemed that the most powerful people, including the leader of the Labor Party in New South Wales at that time, for this moment I've forgotten his name, were absolutely terrified of you and would only speak about you in anonymity. So I don't know how you went from a little housing commission house in the western suburbs of Sydney to being the most powerful and feared man in the New South Wales Labor Party. But answer her question, Albo. What are you going to do about a child not having food?
In our society, it requires government action, and we've tried to do that through a range of measures, everything from 10 days family and domestic violence leave to...
He answered everything on a
leaving
preamble
payments
and nothing
as well
about
to
how
enable
she's going to
people
feed her
women
kids.
in particular. particular to escape, to increase funding for emergency housing, increase funding for community legal centres, a range of measures that government can do. But I've got to say as well, we all as a society have to respond to this as well. It's up to blokes to speak up when they hear.
What's
other
that?
blokes,
Any of this
talking,
got to do
in
with
ways that
feeding
aren't
her
appropriate.
children?
Macy, thank you for your question.
Now off to the next clip. I'm running this really quickly because I've tried to record this 3 times today, and each time I've either had the microphone turn off, or because of the way I'm using the computer to do what I'm doing, which is all wrong, yeah, I've just messed up little things and the recordings haven't worked. So now you're getting a very quick abbreviated version of the 1 hour recording that I made 3 hours
Ross.
ago.
Hi, Ross.
Welcome to Melbourne, Mr. Albanese.
Thanks, Ross.
The Medicare proposal by the PM Albanese has already been matched by opposition leader Peter Dutton. The cost of living, crime in our society, interest rates, housing crisis, climate change and immigration are all major issues that the public is concerned with. Election promises must be evaluated with the thoughts in mind of the question of why hasn't this already been done?
So the question is, why didn't you do it?
Yeah, that's a pretty fair point that you make. The truth is that the reason why Medicare needs this response is
Why,
the
Albo?
damage
Why?
that was done when Peter Dutton was the health minister.
It's Peter Dutton's fault. It's Peter Dutton's fault we didn't do shit.
That he introduced as health minister.
Everything's Peter Dutton's fault. And when Peter Dutton comes on, everything will be Albo's fault because they're two peas of the same pot. But yes, that's the main thing there. It's Peter Dutton's fault. Just remember that. And when you're listening to Peter Dutton, that's why he didn't do it. He didn't mention that maybe it was the voice is the reason that he didn't do it. But anyway, off to the next clip.
It's too expensive or they can't get bulk billing. Put your hand up if you've been in that situation. Few hands? Okay. How many people see this as a vote switcher for them? They're like, yep, that Medicare policy is the sort of policy I've been looking for. More hands up.
Did you see that? 1, 2, 3. No hands up. None of these people. Not a single hand up. Just 3 people. 1, 2, 3. This Mediscare thing isn't really going to work for Labor, is it? Next clip. Now, I have to make sure I don't ramble on about the voice. Why this is on. But yeah. This is the final clip. It's quite unbelievable, the answer to this question.
Coordinator for Yes 23. On election night, you committed to implementing the Uluru Statement from the Heart in full. Does an Albanese Labor government still back this commitment?
Okay, let's go in reverse. Let's start with the last one and then we'll go backwards and I'll jog your memory. 3, we wanted to get more questions from across the country, Prime Minister.
Okay.
On the
Quick
Indigenous
on
policy.
the Indigenous Uluru Statement from the Heart, we had a crack. The former government said they'd have a referendum before 2019. Peter Dutton, during the referendum, promised to have another one next term if he's elected Prime Minister, but he's walked that back.
Okay.
Well, that's it. Are you gonna commit? Are you gonna keep your commitments that you made on the first night of the election? Oh no, we're not. We had a crack and we failed. And that's the Labor Party in a nutshell. We had a crack and we failed, And now we're going to turn into the Liberal Party so we don't fail again. They're pretty lacking in morals, is all I can say. But yes, I would like to do this every fortnight. I hope I get better at what I'm doing. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. I'm also looking for somebody to do this with. So yeah, I'd like to have somebody who comes from a different lifestyle and life history than me, and watch Q&A live and have live reactions to it and live stream that. But I'm a hermit and I don't know anyone. I certainly don't know anyone that loves politics the way I do. Thank you for your time. Everyone stay safe and healthy. If you're entitled to redress, chances are you'd win a civil lawsuit. Go and see Arnold Thomas and Becca. And that's it. Everybody have a good night, good day, whatever time of day or night it is. I wish you all well. Goodbye.